What's up? What's up? Episode 10, man. Episode 10. How's it going, guys?
Double
What's
digit.
What's up?
High five. High five.
High five.
Yo,
High five.
yo,
High
Rod's
five.
not here, man. Yo, forget it. I'm not doing it.
You have to, man.
I have to.
Can you just do
Double
this?
digit.
Okay, Wi-Fi.
All right, man. Episode 10. We made it this far. So, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about more about us, where we live, and why we chose our neighborhoods?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
It's a good opportunity for everyone to kind of get to know us a little bit better this time, I guess, rather than just kind of talk about stuff. But
You know, I do get questions from buyers. You know, sometimes when I'm showing them houses, like, oh, would you live here, or you know, where do you live?
all the time,
right?
All the time.
Yeah.
Well, they want to hear our perspective. Like it's.
Well, we're real people.
It's a
Like,
big
yes,
input.
you know, we're realtors, but yeah, we're real.
Yeah. The good thing is we live in different parts of the GTA. Like we're not even close to each other. I
Good
think.
coverage.
Yeah, we cover a lot of
Cover
ground.
everything, man.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's start it with Woody. Where do you live and why?
Why?
And then we're gonna judge you.
You jerks. So I live in Kleinburg, and the reason why I live in Kleinburg is because all my family's in Vaughan. So everybody's in Vaughan. It's convenient for me. And ever since moving from downtown up to Kleinburg, I see my nephew at least once a week, whereas it used to be once a month.
Where's Kleinburg? Like
The bad uncle I am. Well,
Some listeners.
so to let our listeners and viewers know, Kleinburg, I live in New Kleinburg, which used to be called Nashville. So Old Kleinburgs, we're talking Islington, Major Mac area. New Kleinburg is these subdivisions coming up at Major Mackenzie and 427 area. And yeah, I live there because all my family's in York region, more specifically Vaughan. So that's why. And realistically, I bought back in pre-con back in 2016. I had a choice of getting a condo or getting some land. I decided to go for land in Kleinburg.
Is that considered rural or like a lot of? Or you see farms?
Actually,
I'm gonna be honest.
no, it's a good question because yes, we do still have some plot of lands, but everything's turning into subdivisions. So it's been growing amazing for the last 15 years. So definitely more subdivisions than there are farms. If you go a little bit north, yes, there are farms. Within
Cows and
10-minute
horses.
drive.
Yeah.
Within 10-minute drive, you'll see farms, which are still operating.
Definitely a hot area for new buyers, like coming in, like especially the new immigrants that are looking for home ownership. They flock to the new subdivision because they're looking to own land, looking for new
Affordable
product,
land at this
affordable,
point,
yeah.
reasonable price, larger home.
You can buy $1.5-2 million condo in Toronto or a $1.5-2 million house in Kleinburg.
Good size house, too.
Yeah,
And land, like front yard, backyard,
yeah,
be able to grow stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
That's the Canadian dream.
So
Kleinburg's better.
You buy a house with land from a farmer so that you can farm your own vegetables.
Yeah, it's an up and coming thing to have your own.
That's true. Gardening outdoors stuff.
You can have your chickens.
They've been working on Major Mackenzie, right? They've been expanding that road. Is that true?
Correct. So it's finished. Major Mackenzie, there was a little disconnect when you hit Highway 27.
Yeah. There was a turn.
Yeah,
Correct.
right.
Oh, it was terrible. But they finished that. They finished up about over a year ago. They finished that during COVID.
Okay.
So Major Mac extends all the way to Highway 50. So it's a straight connect. And 427 got finished during COVID as well. And now we're about, I'd say, 45 minute drive to downtown.
That's awesome.
Pretty decent.
You're connected now.
Not bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Properties values jumped definitely once the 427 Major Mac finished.
Yeah, actually, you know what? My sister lives in your community, right?
Yeah.
And
I had to
like
drop
literally,
off something. I had to drop off a video game to her.
That's right.
To your nephew. Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. No, it used to take me about 45 minutes to get to my sister's place. Now it takes me about half hour because of the
Yeah.
427.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah. Speaking of which, why don't you share where you live?
Oh yeah. Well, I live at Yonge and Finch. I live in a condo, and that area is actually quite ideal for my own lifestyle, right? Because when we're looking at places that we want to move to, we want to look at your own lifestyle and decide, what's going to be best suited, right? For me, being at Yonge and Finch is actually quite convenient, right? Because as a realtor, we travel, a fair bit, from, Mississauga to Durham to Newmarket to downtown Toronto. Basically, all the areas are about 30, 40 minutes away.
Yeah, it's pretty central.
Yeah.
It's good.
And, if I was on the east end and, have to travel all the way to the west end, that's quite a bit of commute, right? And also I like to go downtown too, right? To enjoy some, entertainment downtown. So I always just take the subway down.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So that way I don't have to drink and drive.
Hey,
Yeah.
don't forget to mention the travel, right? You can just close the door behind you, and you don't have to.
Oh, the condo life, right?
Yeah, well,
that's
I mean,
nice.
yeah, you don't have to. Everything's taken care of.
True.
That's
no
true.
no chores outside of your door.
And also like the neighborhood is beautiful too, right? Besides the location, the neighborhood is amazing because there's so many different restaurants and bars.
Food's amazing,
and,
man. The food is so good.
Yeah, it's so convenient. Like I can literally walk up and down Yonge and not be bored, and there's just so much going on, right? And there's a lot of green space, a lot of parks, right? A lot of family. It's a good mixed community there too, between young professionals and more suburban like families and all that.
100%.
And so good eats, good bars, and actually some of the schools are the best in the city, aren't they? Like they're in high demand is Earl Haig.
That's right. And also the junior schools too.
Yeah.
Right. Like McKee, and we mentioned this last time, like Claude Watson, and there's a lot of other, great schools in that community there. So a lot of people do move into that area specifically for school. Yeah, no, I honestly like that. The area is amazing. I don't.
That's why you chose it.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
And for those who like bubble tea, there's bubble tea
Every corner,
Yeah.
man. Every other shop.
yeah.
Or karaoke across the street.
So Rich, if any of our viewers are in the area, where do they find Rich at Yonge and Finch?
Just a corner, I guess.
Just at the corner asking for change.
On the street, you'll see him at the corner.
There's a
of
cardboard box. What do you mean by
Coffee
the
shop.
question?
What are some of your favorite haunts? Like the
Oh,
movie
okay.
theater,
Yeah.
eats,
I get it.
eats,
Where do you find
drinks.
Fair enough.
yeah.
That's a good question. No, I definitely frequent certain bars and restaurants there. Minami is one of my
Oh,
one
yeah,
of my
yeah,
favorite
that's a nice one.
places.
Yeah.
Hashi, Izakaya, Hambatong at Yonge and Shepherd.
Yeah.
How about Nome?
Nome,
Sometimes.
yes, Nome
Yo, they
for
have
sure.
Wednesday bucket
St.
shop.
Louis,
Yeah.
it depends on the
Jack
event,
Astor's
the situation.
patio.
Jack Astor's patio is always really nice.
Yeah.
Rooftop
The rooftop patio. Yeah.
Yeah. There's lots. I mean, there's
a lot
lots
going
going
on.
on there. I mean, you can go and frequent so many different places, right? They opened up a lot of new like restaurants, like Pizza Libretto there, right?
Japanese barbecue. There's that Shinta place,
A
right?
lot of Korean places. a lot
Shinta
of-
opened at Empress Walk. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
There's
a
so
good
much
spot.
going on there. It's like
all walking distance.
it's all
which is
walking.
nice.
It's like
you don't
about
have
15,
if
10,
you-
15 minutes
Yeah,
away.
if you got a bike or rollerblade, you're good to go.
Scooter.
Yeah.
Oh, you can scooter. Yeah.
Scooter all the way.
Yeah. What about you?
Me? So I'm not far from where Rich lives actually. So I'm at right at the corner of Yonge and 401, but on the south side. So it's a little bit more residential, not quite as busy as Yonge and Shepherd.
Yonge and York Mills.
Yeah, in between Yonge and York Mills and Yonge and 401. So I'm in that pocket called St. Andrews. So I live in a two-bedroom condo townhouse. So it's to give a little bit of a perspective. Those were pretty old. They're built in the 70s, and main reason why we bought it was really just the proximity to being in the city, but also having that suburban feel. So we can actually walk to the subway. We can have nice walks, and it's like quiet. We don't hear the highway, so it's really just ideal for us. Yeah,
Is it is there a party scene, or is there more residential?
it's all residential. Like so there are like these really big detached houses worth in the millions, and there are us, condo townhouse people.
Or golfing. You can just go across the street and just golf.
Oh yeah, you're actually really close to
Yeah,
Don
yeah.
Valley Golf Course.
Yeah,
and,
I'm across the street. I can walk there, but
Yeah.
I don't golf, unfortunately.
And what's a French restaurant that's close to there? That's
Auberge de Pommier.
yes,
Yeah. That's
pretty
close
decent
too.
French.
It's
Yeah.
still open, Miller Tavern, or is it closed down?
I
I think it's still open.
I think it's still open.
Yeah.
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 I haven't.
But I hear
Gone
there's a
there.
project coming up there. There should be a project down the pipeline.
Oh, maybe.
No
maybe.
spoilers.
I didn't hear about it, to be honest, but yeah.
So what do you eat or drink living where you live?
So for the most part, surprisingly enough, we don't actually eat like close by our home, because we do rely on our cars. We would just hop on the highway, go to Markham, go to Richmond Hill, go to Scarborough, or stay in North York. But we have a lot of options because we are literally 15 minutes away from everywhere.
The 401, and I mean, you can go anywhere.
Right on the
So,
401.
yeah.
We live right.
Yeah.
So we have a specific, like a private ramp from our place directly to the highway. So
No.
there's no
Oh,
traffic.
I think I know that ramp.
Yeah.
You do know the ramp.
It's annoying because trying to make it into that street going south on Yonge is a pain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your ramp.
That's Laura,
my
Laura
ramp.
Seaton, right?
Yeah, it is
Laura
Laura
Seaton.
Seaton.
Yeah.
It is Laura Seaton. So as soon as I just,
You know,
no
I-
one goes there without a purpose.
Yeah,
No
no,
one goes
I
there.
actually avoid that entrance to 401 all the time. If I'm going east,
That's
I'm going to Baby.
That's my spot. That's my spot.
Yeah, but that pocket is so like tucked
It's
away.
so underrated. Like people that don't know the area, they're like, "What's in there?" They'll just hop on the highway and go on their way, right?
What's the demographic of that area?
Well, it's very family friendly. I don't know the net worth of people, but
Are they older?
in my immediate area, there's a lot of young families.
Oh,
Yeah. But I know there's a lot of older homes that's like
Some
kind of
old
old
money.
money,
yeah.
where their house was expensive back then, but now it's astronomical. And even like the bungalows are like 3-4 million. Obviously, you got the big, 4,000-5,000 square foot, and they're like anywhere from. I've seen a listing is ridiculously enough like 18 mil. In
Yeah,
my
but
area.
you didn't finish your story about there was some action. Was it multiple offer? And
Oh yeah, we hadn't. That's the thing, right? So there was a multiple offer, and we needed to make a decision right away. So I put in an offer right away, and so it was sold conditional. It was supposed to come back onto the market, but I told the agent like, don't put it on the back of the market. We're coming in right now, and I signed it
on
on
it.
the same night.
yeah,
And then it was something that they liked, and it's,
no hesitation. It was just no
you
brainer.
can't. Yeah, like sometimes you just gotta pull the trigger. And I think a lot of the times, if you know what you want, you got to go for it right away, especially in real estate. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's 5-6 years ago or today. It's the same deal. If you know that's what you want, you got to pull the trigger and try.
Yeah.
The worst thing that you can get is a no, right?
Yeah.
Or a sign back or whatever, or no answer.
Yeah, certainly. It's a
But
journey.
it worked out, and it is an old house, and we had to knock down some walls, do some renos before we could move in. And this is all before we got married, like a couple months before. So, yeah, it all worked out.
So are we gonna cover how we got to that point, like before our journey, or we'll just come around and talk about that later?
What journey?
Well, I mean, like how we started out, right?
Oh yeah, back in the day.
Certainly that wasn't your first
I mean,
property.
if we have time, then yeah, sure.
We all worked hard and saved
Saved
up.
up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
kinda
we
just how it-
grinded.
yeah.
That's our journey.
Yeah. that's
no,
true.
but I mean, like from property to property kind of thing.
Well, yeah, like no one goes from that, like from living at home to that.
Yeah, because some buyers or maybe the audience may think that our first property was a house. It's not
No,
necessarily
it wasn't.
true.
It wasn't as easy as that. No, but
that's
a
another
little bit
topic.
of stepping stones here and there. But
Yeah.
Steve, where
Steve, why don't you talk
where you
about
at
your-
now?
Yeah, where are you at?
Sure. Well, I'm in central Forest Hill South and just a little bit north of Casa Loma. And that
Nice
pocket,
area.
it's a central area and it's very, very convenient for transit. Surrounded by private schools, large, I would say, Jewish demographics, and definitely mature with hiking trails. And we particularly like the school district ranking.
Oh, you have 2 kids, so
We have
that's
2
probably one of your decision making
Yeah.
aspects, right?
It actually worked out nicely. I can come back to telling you why and how we actually got there. But in terms of the area, one of the particular features we liked was this little village. It's called the Forest Hill Village.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
really
it's
nice.
And it has all the amenities. It has two or three gyms. Right, it has all 5 banks, right in one intersection. Has ice cream, dry cleaning, restaurants.
It's a very quaint community.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, it's very
close knit.
Yeah.
People are pretty friendly too.
Yeah, it's very eclectic. All walks of life kind of thing.
Yeah.
Some are renters along Lonsdale. Some of the there's a mixed crowd. Like there are people living in condos and apartments, and definitely lots of homes, detached, semi-detached, and yeah. So far, we've been loving it. I've been there for 9 years.
And now heading north.
Yeah, let's go to
Oh,
Kenny.
yeah.
Oh, right. I live in Richmond Hill. My story is way more simple than Steve's. I just wanted to live close to a Costco. $1.50 hot dogs. So, Leslie Ugly Mills. That's where I live.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
I'm used to. I've never lived in the city, so I've always been used to the suburbs. You know, I'm so used to driving and not doing any physical fitness at all. So, yeah, Richmond Hill all the way. It's top ranked schools.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
one of the reasons.
Yeah.
So Costco hot dogs in schools.
Which schools?
So there's Bayview Secondary is very high ranked.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, Bayview Secondary, elementary school. Right now, we actually go to the one in Markham, but it's all highly ranked. There's also the French immersion that's nearby,
Oh.
Sir Wilfrid Laurier. So yeah, lots of Asians, right? So
Love it. Gotta love it.
Trails though, there must be like trails and
No, Costco. This is walk
trails.
to-
I
walk
don't do
to
exercise,
Costco.
man. That's not my thing. Trails. Why?
It's like nature. Oh,
No, forget it.
Why am I getting bitten up by mosquitoes?
Where do you go for food?
Oh, it's all
Costco.
Chinese food everywhere.
groceries.
Yeah, there's groceries is all Chinese. There's TNTs everywhere, but it's a completely different lifestyle compared to you guys because you guys are living mostly aside from you from Kleinberg. I
Very similar.
I have street lights. No, I'm kidding. Compared to Kleinberg, no, I'm kidding. But no, you need cars to get everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's just something I'm used to. But it's all like Chinese food. Like First Market Place is pretty near.
Yeah, it's
close by.
It's right off the highway. Like I mean, you're pretty much what 404.
404
Pretty much
and-
anywhere.
Yeah, 404. Yeah.
You want to go to the theaters? It's like what Yonge and is it the Yonge and Highway 7? That's probably the one you go to.
Yonge and Highway 7.
big Silver City?
That one? Yeah. So that
a
one
big
is
one.
close, or I
Yeah.
could go to the VIP at downtown Markham. It's pretty similar.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, it's very family friendly. Everyone there has kids, you know, 'cause they're,
Yeah.
they're mostly larger homes, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has backyards. So yeah, kid friendly.
I feel like because growing up, so me and Winston we're brothers. We have to just tell everyone.
Yeah.
So growing up, apparently, so we were in the 905 area. So I can I feel for like Kenny. I understand that like everything is just going by cars, but having lived in downtown, midtown, and 905. I find that living in the city, I tend to even find more like trails and parks to go outside. Like not that it was a thing like when I was growing up in Markham. It was never a big emphasis.
It wasn't even an amenity. It was just a chore.
Yeah, but it was filled with construction and everything. But in the city, there's actually surprisingly more trails. Like during
There's
COVID, we
more
discovered
actual
even
trails,
more and more. I was like, wow, this is this
Like
city has
Toronto's
a lot to
actually
offer.
more than just buildings and roads. It's a lot of hidden things.
See, that's
Yeah,
a
no,
good thing
it's
because
surprised.
you'd actually go out and walk. If I walked around in Richmond Hill, they'd be like, "Yo, who's this loser walking?"
Why is he on legs?
No,
It's
I
kind of
know.
suspicious.
He must not have a driver's license.
Here's some change.
No, but that's the surprising, transition because
Yeah.
going into the city, like if you walk around the block, it feels like very efficient because I can literally go from city to nature within the same hour. But in 905, I would have to just make a specific trip, drive to the park, and do a picnic and spend half the day there, and then tomorrow, then we will go grocery shopping.
Oh, you know what? There's one thing that I found, like Steve said, we grew up in Markham, in the suburbs, subdivision, whatnot. When I moved to North York, I felt like there was just like back then living in Markham, I didn't even know the neighbors' names. Like legit, I didn't talk to anyone, even though they're my neighbors. They live next door. I didn't know anyone on the street. It was actually bad. Everyone kept to themselves. Didn't really like that. But when I moved, I felt like people in Toronto, they'd say hi. You're closer proximity, so you can't just hide in your car. You can't just go to your car, hide in your whatever. So there is a little bit more interaction.
That's a good point. You know what I noticed? There's no kids playing on the streets where I live
anymore.
I don't think they ever.
We grew up.
I grew up in Ottawa,
that,
and the thing was, when you were 6 years old, you just go on the street.
Yeah,
that was a
hockey.
norm back
I
then.
remember playing,
street hockey.
Street hockey, right?
Street hockey.
There was no
and
parents.
Baseball, and
No parents.
No parents. You figure out like where you are in the hierarchy in
make
life.
rules. You
Yeah,
make
yeah.
rules. Yeah.
But now you can't. You don't see kids on the street. If you see a kid on the street, you'd be like, "Yo, whose kid is this? We gotta call the cops or something like that."
Yeah.
It's so different.
Yeah,
now.
it's true.
It's
It's
a
true.
little strange to see street hockey.
But you
playing
know
right
what?
now.
That still feels like more of like a uptown thing where it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like where we live now, sure, they're not like working and playing on the street, but you still see a lot of kids on the sidewalks and stuff.
Oh, I can definitely attest to that because all of our neighbors would come out for
You have
drinks.
block parties.
Their block parties.
That's crazy.
It helps that we're in a cul-de-sac,
Yes.
so not as many cars. So kids would definitely knock on each other's doors.
That's very healthy though.
Play either basketball, hockey, frisbee,
Video games,
badminton.
whatever, swim. Like it's so many activities that you
Yeah,
have to
so
do.
naturally, especially during COVID, we would have a natural bubble. Like
Socially,
just
it's pretty
socially with
nice.
kids.
Yeah, it's very
pretty
nice.
Yeah, and
That's what I find in like your neighborhood, my neighborhood. I'm not sure. Like, I mean, if it's anything like how we grew up, unless you went to school with them, you're not gonna go visit them specifically. Like you won't go to your neighbor's house to play. That just didn't happen back in Markham.
On the other hand, with the kids coming off the roads, I don't know, maybe it's also because there's more amenities. During COVID, I realized what a great community center I had in my area. And there's actually, for example, we have pickleball courts at some of the parks. The community center offers swimming, basketball, all these sports, which I've never really explored until COVID happened.
Oh yeah, that's one of the big features of like newer communities. They have
Their community centers are really nice.
Yeah, it's
really nice.
Amazing, yeah.
Actually, this past weekend. It was a long weekend. We took out I took out our family to this place called the Gore Meadow Community Center, and it's in Brampton, but it's super brand new. Has a library, has tons of basketball courts, and I was blown away. Like, I had a water park, I had a skate park,
Wow.
hockey ring, outdoor.
It's interesting how like a lot of these communities are more developed now.
Super.
Right? To allow more, like instead of playing on the street where it's kind of dangerous, to be honest, then they'll like have specific
Devil's
designated
advocate
areas.
here, honestly, I
Yeah.
think they build these nice ones to attract people to live there. I
Fair,
think
that makes
Yeah,
sense.
for sure.
I'm pretty sure because like you're not gonna rebuild something in the city because it's already established. But like if you think back maybe 20, 30 years ago, that old community center now must have been like really nice back then to the standards back then.
In terms of city planning, it's changed a lot. So now it's more centralized in terms of the community center and entertainment. Back then, it's more plan as you go, right? And the approach is totally different.
Yeah, actually, as a realtor, we explore a lot of different communities and different pockets. So, like, I mean, I know we all chose our area that we live in now, but if you were to choose a different part of the city to move to, where would you guys move to?
If we were richer and had OnlyFans money, or what do you like? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, if
You
you had
mean
the
you
choice,
don't?
if you had the choice to move somewhere that that you can move to right now, where would you go?
Don't plug your channels.
If budget wasn't a constraint.
I'd pick South Richville. That's a little bit south Richmond Hill, near the Yonge Silver City.
Okay.
So it's Yonge and Highway 7,
Yeah.
but a little bit on the west side of Yonge.
Okay.
It's like bigger houses. It's lush trees. That's the only thing I'm missing. I'm living in a brand new subdivision. My trees are tiny.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I envy big trees, oxygen, right? So I would probably go there.
But you don't go outside.
From the window.
No, when I take out,
from the window,
when I go and take
you
out,
like to see those big trees.
no, when
right?
I go take out the trash, I want some fresh air, and then I go back inside. Yeah.
Valid. Fair. That's fair.
Okay.
Woody.
Yeah, I'll need a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if I had the chance to move anywhere, I would like. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy where I'm at right now. Maybe just upsize, maybe to a bigger place, maybe
In the same area. you mean?
in the same area. I'd say maybe Bayview, 401, Leslie 401. For me, having that access to the 401 was really, really key because, I mean, I'm at Yonge and 401 now. Having that young line access was key. It was crazy. My wife used to work right on the subway line, which was perfect. And our area has one of the top school districts, some of the top schools there. We don't have kids, but if in any case, if it did happen or will happen, that school's still there.
Yeah.
Right. That's one of the main
And
reasons.
resale
why.
value.
Exactly.
Resale value,
100%.
yes, but I mean, I don't see myself leaving that area at all, unless it's upsize or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna drag you out.
No, I'm not leaving. Yeah.
So, sounds like some of the homeowners
I'm very
that Rich
happy.
spoke
I
to.
am very happy though.
I ain't leaving.
Hey, Rich,
Oh, yeah, the door
I ain't
knocking.
selling till I die.
I'm not moving.
how about you, Rich?
I'm living here for 40, 50 years, but I'm not going nowhere. No, so like, I mean, if I really actually debated before I moved to Yonge and Finch, I actually debated downtown a little bit, just because of a little bit more of the lifestyle, because there's a little bit more, bars, more activity that's happening, right? But I wouldn't enjoy, as I'm a little bit older now, like I wouldn't enjoy living in the core of like downtown Toronto, right? I would probably choose an area like just outside of it, like such as Leslieville or Corktown, right? Areas like that. I mean, it's a little bit quieter. It's still
Yeah, it's
reachable
accessible.
to all the downtown activities and all the
Exactly.
lifestyle down there. But you also have your own like little pocket and little communities there too. Like for example, with Leslieville, I love drinking beer, and one thing about Leslieville is that there's a lot of craft breweries down there,
Yeah.
right? And there's a lot of boutique little shops, restaurants, and the community has a really interesting vibe down there, right? You're really close to the water. It's pretty. There's definitely something that's happening within Leslieville personally, but anywhere in Toronto, there's so many great pockets, right? It's really hard to choose, but I mean, every time I go to Leslieville, it just feels like, okay, yeah, this is actually
Feels
pretty
nice.
nice,
Yeah,
nice
feels
space still.
Yeah, I was going to say the Yonge and Shepherd area. I do adore that area, but Rich is really selling me on Leslieville. I had clients that bought in even the Broadview area, close to the Jillies that used to be there. That I've heard of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that
Broadview
East York?
Hotel now. Broadview Hotel.
Yeah, Broadview Hotels. Yeah.
Is that East York now or still Toronto?
It's like downtown Leslieville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
literally
and-
Leslieville, and it's just south of Rivers.
And
River-
it's transformed a lot. When they moved in, the Jillies was still operational. And by the time they sold there, we're talking Lululemon pants and $1,000 strollers.
The yogis
Yeah.
moved in.
yeah.
Because Yonge and Finch, Yonge and Shepherd is more for like the younger crowd. As we get older, I agree. I would rather downtown be in a hipster area, because I go downtown because my friends go downtown and they love record stores. It's such a weird thing.
Weren't you at a record store recently?
I was at a record store and I was
saw
blown
that.
away how there were so much people buying records. And I'm like, dude, there's Spotify now. But if the record store was in Markham or Richmond Hill, it'd go out of business. But downtown, people love records.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, for
Which
sure.
record store were you
Bookstores
at?
too. Yeah.
I went to like 4 of them and they were all packed.
What area were these record stores in?
Like Bloor West,
Okay.
like Annex, like Bathurst and Bloor around that area.
Okay.
So very cool area. Yeah. I think maybe I'll change my mind. If I had OnlyFans money, I would go down to Annex. There we go.
Like a nice property away from like the main street.
Victorian houses,
Like you still
or
kind of
what
want
do
you still
think?
kind of want that
It's-
privacy too, right?
You know what? It's still busy, but as it's busy along Bloor, but there's still quiet streets
Yeah,
where
the-
it
the
feels
side
like you're
streets. The
you're
side-
tucked in, right?
yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Desirable.
You know,
yeah.
actually, Tenny, I think you might also like Queen West area too now.
Oh, Queen West is good too. I love it. Yeah, yeah,
Queen
yeah.
West, is like along
lot of
Ossington,
vintage
along
retro stuff,
Queen,
yeah.
like little Portugal, little Italy. There's
Yeah.
a lot of
Nice.
little vintage like spots there too.
Yeah, there's a lot of younger people in that area, though. Like,
Actually, it's a lot of families there. A lot of people are pretty settled there. They've
Yeah,
lived
sure.
there for, like those other communities that we went
Yeah,
and
yeah.
walked through, man. They're like
Okay.
there for 40, 50
I
years.
think I
man, I'm telling
remember
you.
there was a project around where Dundas meets King or something, or Dundas meets Queen, or King meets Queen.
is it out
something.
yet, or is it?
No, it was
coming
long.
soon?
No, it was
Oh.
a while back, many years,
Okay.
Oh,
and it was kind of on the west side.
right. Yeah. And there's lots of development right now.
You know, a funny thing I noticed, I don't want to stereotype here, but if you go down to those trendy areas, you see a lot of brunch places.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and people line for hours.
Absolutely.
And they're dressed in white. Why are they all dressed in white? And
I don't know.
wearing
I don't
khakis.
know. I don't know.
And they're like, yo, why are people lining up?
No,
like,
I like
it's
a
the
good
uniform,
brunch, but
man.
not to the point where you know lining up. No.
yeah.
Actually, one of my favorite brunch places in Liberty Village.
Oh, the library. Or is it called the
OEB
library?
or O? Is it OBE or something?
No, the one I went to was. It's known for its pancakes and big
Denny.
No, I know what you're talking about. I know. I think I've been
Mama
there.
something. It's a super. It's fancy looking place with greenery inside the restaurant.
Damn,
so
you
it's
travel
pretty
all
cool.
the way from Kleinburg to downtown for
No, I
dates?
used to live downtown.
Oh, for me.
Yeah.
But brunches, like you can't really beat the beaches. There's a ton of spots there.
Yeah, the beach is
Beach is
actually
good.
really cool, man.
Yeah.
I was actually down there this last weekend. It was really nice. You could walk down to literally the beaches, like Q Beach,
Yeah.
right? And there's all these different bars along Queen Street, restaurants, little boutique shops, ice cream shops. It's really
Just many people complain about the parking. Though.
Yeah.
That's really
yeah,
tough.
Yeah. Well,
Look at
because
the
all the
ticket.
people who come from all
Did-
around the city to go to the beach.
Did everyone say their favorite spot? We did, right?
No, except for me.
Okay, make it quick.
We're almost to the end. Yeah.
No. I mean, like my area is kind of I have no changes. Like I would love to stay there for a long term. I guess the only thing, if I were to think outside, is more for investments. And something in common for all of us. It always comes down to transit.
Absolutely.
So as some of the other properties that we would even consider, or even some of the clients that we've done, we often look towards like the transit area subways.
Yes.
Right. Goes without saying, but some of the sleeper areas, I often look into like the Yorkdale area.
Yeah.
Yorkdale, right by the
Wilson.
Wilson, Tippett,
Allen Road.
Varna.
Yeah.
That's a great spot. And also now what's up and coming is also Vaughan, VMC
Well,
area.
I mean, picking one area where you want to live.
no, I'm just naming out a couple for
Yeah.
like investment, like
Yeah.
for living wise. Like
You want to stay put.
I definitely want to stay put.
Okay.
The other place that's highly recommended would be near High Park. Swansea.
High Park's nice. High
Like,
Park's
it's
nice.
close to the water.
Would you want to move there over your current?
Only if it's like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times like larger and custom built. If I were to build my own house, I think that would be
Like
the
unlimited
place.
money. Let's just say you have money's not a thing.
Yeah.
Where would you want to move?
Yeah. Either stay in my area or build there, depending
or
on
High
whichever.
Park.
Yeah.
Or High Park.
Or near High Park, because it's just very accessible.
North side or south side?
It's definitely south side.
South.
Yeah.
South.
South is just more accessible.
Nice. Okay.
Very nice.
Cool.
Cool.
That's it, man. That's let's end it off from there. Good
Yeah.
topic, guys.
All right.
Awesome.
Number
See you
10.
next time.
See you next time.
See you next
What's up,
time.
guys?